This is cs952 Introduction to Web Technologies and Design, and we just added this new div to our website. This is all contained inside the Jumbotron. Right now on our home page we've got our hero image, nice big image that shows our pencils. And then after that we've got this Jumbotron. And inside of the Jumbotron we're going to add a block quote. It's going to take a couple steps to do that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my favorite source of information, Wikipedia. Let's go open up my Chrome web browser. Okay, so I'm going to go to my friend Google, and I'm going to type in Wikipedia, W-I-K-I-P-E-D-I-A, and then I'm typing pencil. Alrighty. And here it is, Wikipedia. The pencil is a writing implement. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and use this as the content for my website. So I'm going to right click here and choose copy. So I just copied this content from Wikipedia. So I'm looking to add some content to my website. I should really create some fresh new content, but for the time being this will be acceptable. And I double clicked on where it said content for a new div tag goes here. I'm going to highlight that because I want to replace that text. With that highlighted, I'm going to hit delete or backspace, and then I'm going to hit Control V to paste. And now I've got the content that we copied from Wikipedia. A pencil is a writing implement. Okay. So that's pretty plain. So we've got our H1 tag. Let's review. And then we've H1 tag. Then we've got our div that has that kind of boring stuff about a pencil, and then we have our paragraph. Now notice that what's inside of the div looks kind of plain. The font isn't very impressive. It's because we don't really have any font styles defined for the div other than just whatever the default basics are. We'd like that to be a little bit more interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from being a div tag into an existing HTML style that's called a block quote. And if you're not sure what a block quote is, let's go back to our friend and let's type in W3 schools block quote, Q-U-O-T-E, and it says HTML block quote. So the block quote is an existing HTML tag that's used to specify that a section is quoted from another source. And that's exactly what we're doing here with Wikipedia, right? We're quoting this content from another source. So let's go back to Dreamweaver. So how do we turn this div into a block quote? I mean, it's a div, it's not a block quote. And if I look over here under Insert, under HTML, sadly, I don't see block quote listed anywhere. It's actually pretty darn easy to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this tag that says div, and then if I right click, I get my quick tag editor. This is one of the great features of Dreamweaver. Right now this is a div. If I click on quick tag editor, it says edit the tag div. So I'm going to delete div, and instead I'm going to type BLO, and look, Dreamweaver already started to fill in block quote for us. So just click on block quote, or double click on it, there we go, and then I'm going to hit enter. And when I do that, Dreamweaver changed it from being a div to a block quote. And look, notice now that it's a block quote that our content is indented for us. It makes it clear that it's a block quote. You know what, let's do this. Let's give a source for this block quote. I'm going to double click in here to do some editing, and then I'm just going to say dash from Wikipedia, so we know where this quote came from, right? It came from Wikipedia. I'm going to go back to Wikipedia. I'm going to highlight the link that we have up here, right click and choose copy. This should seem very familiar to you at this point. Go back to Dreamweaver, and where I have the word, if I double click on the word, whoops, okay, if I highlight the word Wikipedia, and then in the link I hit paste, and it's going to turn that into a link. My target is going to be blank because I want it to open up in a new page, and I'm going to say Wikipedia the pencil. Okay, great. Now, if someone clicks on the word Wikipedia, This will be an absolute link that will take them out to the Wikipedia page. It's going to open up in a new page. So all this is looking pretty good so far. Let's save this and preview in a browser. I'm going to preview in Chrome. Do you want to save the changes to my home page? I'm going to say yep. And here we have it, the humble pencil. If we scroll down, here's our block quote. This website, this is our quote from Wikipedia. Here's our link that takes us to Wikipedia. If we click on that, it opens up in a new page. It says this website is all about the humble pencil. There's a couple things that need to be addressed, and they're not about the content, but with the layout of the page. The first one is, this looks really crowded to me, having the text right next to the edge of the web browser. Just doesn't look that good. So how do we fix that? We're going to go back to Dreamweaver, and what we need to do is we need to add in some padding. Remember, we added some padding before when we were working on our footer. We added padding of 20 pixels to the top and the bottom to give us a little space. This time, let's add some padding to the left and to the right. So how do we do that? Well, we want to add padding where? To our Jumbotron. So we're going to click on our Jumbotron. In order to add padding, we need to create a new CSS rule that basically says, give us some padding. So to add CSS rules, we go to CSS Designer. I've got Style selected. I'm going to click on Global. I do not have a selector yet for my Jumbotron. So I'm going to click on plus to add selector, and Dreamweaver created a selector for us. .Jumbotron, anything that has a class of Jumbotron. That's great. I'm going to hit enter. And now I just go down to my layout properties. Now before, when we added padding, remember padding adds space inside of an element. We added 20 pixels to the top and the bottom. This time, let's add 20 pixels to the left. Look at that. Now we've got 20 pixels of spacing here. And to make sure everything's even, let's add 20 pixels of spacing to the right. Great. This looks better already, right? Much better. And we will learn later on how to do something with that Learn More button. And there's one other thing that's a little troubling, and that's that white space that we have between our image and our navigation. So why do we have that white space? Well, let me hit Save All right now to save all the work that we've done. Well, that white space was added automatically when we created the Bootstrap navigation bar. So this navigation bar that we have at the top takes up 50 pixels. And then there's an extra 20 pixels of space between our navigation bar and our image. A lot of Bootstrap components have 20 pixels of spacing so that things don't crowd each other. But in this case, I really would like my navigation bar to be right next to my image. So where is that 70 pixels, and how do I change it? If I look in my code view and I scroll up, I can see that right in my body tag it says padding top is 70 pixels. But this is grayed out. I can't edit this. Well, I can't edit it in the index.html file, but I can edit it in my template. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to close this index file. I'm going to go to my files. I'm going to open up my template. I'm going to double click on the word template. I'm going to scroll down. And right there it says padding top is equal to 70 pixels. Let's change that to 50. I'm going to click on my Save All button. And of course, Dreamweaver asks, do I want to update all the files based on this template? Yep, I sure do. Let's hit Update. Close. We're almost done. I'm going to hit F12 to preview this in a web browser. So this is just my template file. I want to see what my home page looks like. And I do that by clicking on the icon for my home page. And there we have it. So now we've got the humble pencil. We've got our hero image up at the top. Notice that we have color coordination between our navigation bar and the image that we're using. We scroll down here. It says the humble pencil. We've got a little excerpt from Wikipedia that tells us about the humble pencil. I can click on Wikipedia. It's going to open up in a new link. Should seem very familiar, right? We have Wiki Pencil up here as well. And it says this website is all about the Humble Pencil and a Learn More button. Now we're going to be adding more to our home page as we go along, but this is a good start, and we're going to, in our next module, learn how to add an image gallery. We're going to fill out this right now our gallery page is empty, but this is what our home page looks like, and we've made a lot of progress.